Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for live sessions of Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad. And today is our fifth lecture on Prasuti and Stri Roga. Since last class, we had discussed about some clinical aspects of Yoni Vyapat. In that, we had discussed about Samanya Nidana, Sankhya of Yoni Vyapat, and also about some individual Yoni Vyapat like Vataja Yoni Vyapat and Udavartini Yoni Vyapat. Today we'll continue with the same. Today I will speak about the first topic is Acharana Yoni Vyapat. Acharya Charaka, he included Acharana Yoni Vyapat under Vataja Yoni Vyapat, and according to Sushruta, he mentioned under Kafaja Yoni Vyapat. Acharana Yoni Vyapat, it is a clinical condition. This occurs due to unhygienic condition of the vagina or due to non-maintaining of or maintenance of vaginal health. That is, Charaka explains that Yonyam adhavanat kandum jataha kurvanti jantavaha satsya acharana kandva taya atinara kankshini. So in this two-line quotations, he has explained both the nidana and lakshana of Acharana Yoni Vyapat. He says that the main cause behind Acharana Yoni Vyapat is adhavana. Dhavana means cleaning and adhavana refers to non-cleanliness of the vagina. So due to non-cleanliness of the vagina leads to manifestation of krimi or jantu. So here krimi or jantu means some kind of microorganisms, like due to any infection because of any kind of microorganisms like any protozoa or any bacteria, or sometimes maybe fungal or viral infections also. So because of these infections, so due to non-cleanliness of the vagina, there will be manifestation of such microorganisms and leads to this condition. And main symptom or lakshana of Acharana Yoni Vyapat is Kandu. Sasyat Acharana Kandva Taya Atinara Kankshini. That is Kandu, that is itching and irritation in the vaginal region and also vulval region. And Taya Atinara Kankshini. This is one of peculiar symptom, that is the female which is who is suffering from Acharana Yoni Vyapat, she also feels excessive desire towards sexual intercourse for the subsidence of this itching symptom. So these are main two symptoms which is explained under Acharana Yoni Vyapat. And moving further, Sushruta explains that as Sushruta considered this Acharana Yoni Vyapat under Kafaja Yoni Vyapat, he also mentions that this Acharana Yoni Vyapat also having some Kafaja symptoms like Kandu, Srava, that is Yoni Srava, and Paichilyata and Shitilata in the Yoni Pradesha. So these are all some lakshanas which is explained by Sushruta under Acharana Yoni Vyapat due to Kafaja in origin. Then move on to Chikitsa of Acharana Yoni Vyapat. As it is here, both mainly it is associated with this diseases or disorder associated with Vata and also with Kafaja symptoms will be there. So we have to give the treatment for both Vata Kafaja or Vata Kafagna Dravyas. So they have mentioned Kafavatecha Datavyam Tailam Uttarabastina. I repeat, Kafavatecha Datavyam Tailam Uttarabastina. That means any Yoni Vyapat condition which is associated with Kapha and Vataja symptom. So then we have to indicate Uttarbasti with Taila prepared out of Jivaniya Dravyas. So here Uttarbasti Taila prepared out of Jeevaniya Dravyas is very beneficial here. And also, so as it is a localized symptom is more pronounced is there, so we have to give like a localized treatment like Yoni Pichu with the help of a sneha prepared out of Shallaki, Jambutvak, and also sneha prepared out of Panchavalkala is also beneficial. And also Dhatakyadi Taila Pichu, that is Taila prepared out of Dhataki and all other some drugs. We have to prepare Taila from that, and we have to give Sneha Pichu, that is Yoni Pichu. So here Dhataki is very useful to reduce inflammation and infection in the vulva and vagina. And also they have mentioned another one Sthanika Chikitsa, that is Yoni Varti Prayoga. Yoni Varti prepared out of a cloth and which is dipped in a Matsya or Gopitta. A cloth which is dipped for 21 times in a Gopitta or Matsya Pitta. Then we have to insert it into the or inside the vagina, and this therapy will going to helpful to reduce any kind of inflammation, irritation or itching in the vaginal and vulval region. So this is the explanation given by our Acharyas, both Acharya Sushruta and Acharya Charaka. So Acharya Vakpata has mentioned the same condition, but he had given some other terminology, that is Vipluta Yoni Vyapat. So under Krimija Yoni Vyapat, he has termed the Vipluta Yoni Vyapat. So basically whatever the symptoms and signs and causes behind Vipluta Yoni Vyapat is same as Acharana Yoni Vyapat. And then how can we correlate this condition clinically? So all these symptoms like itching or irritation may be seen in the condition of vaginitis. Yes, vaginitis is a commonly seen condition in gynecological OPDs. So vaginitis means infection and inflammation of the vagina and vulval region also. So causes behind this vaginitis are, it may be because of Trichomonas vaginalis or Candida vaginitis, or also may be due to some chlamydial infection, and sometimes it is also due to atrophic vaginitis, or it is also said to be senile vaginitis. So here the main cause is Trichomonas vaginalis. So it is due to trichomoniasis, or trichomoniasis is an infection which is caused due to Trichomonas vaginalis. It is a kind of protozoa, so it is one of protozoal infection. So the main clinical features of this kind of infections are, one is profuse and offensive kind of vaginal discharge. Profuse and offensive kind of vaginal discharge, and also there will be a irritation and itching in the vulval and vaginal region, and also there will be a dysuria, that is difficulty during micturition, and also increased in the frequency of micturition. So basically these are the main symptoms of vaginitis, which is caused due to Trichomonas vaginalis, and it is a kind of protozoal infection. And then, so how can we detect or how can we diagnose this Trichomonas vaginalis means? By doing vaginal swab test. So this is one of the diagnostic technique to detect any kind of fungal infections or any kind of bacterial infection. So vaginal swab test will be the one among diagnostic tool. And after that we can treat the patient by giving antibacterial drugs like metronidazole 200 mg TID for 7 days. So this is the treatment for vaginitis which is caused due to Trichomonas vaginalis or protozoal infection. And second one is Candida vaginitis. Candida vaginitis is caused due to because of some fungal infection, that is Candida albicans. Candida albicans is a type of yeast-like fungus which may causes Candida vaginitis. So here the main symptom here is itching vulva, that is pruritus vulva or itching vulva, that is itching in the vulval region and also vaginal at the region of vaginal introitus. And then here the vaginal discharge will be of whitish in color and curdy discharge will be present. Yes, here whitish curdy discharge will present. Along with that some flakes will be present. So that means it looks like a cottage cheese. And then because of severe irritation and severe itching, there will be a swollen and red vulva will be present. Red and swollen vulva will be present because of severe irritation and itching in the vulva and vaginal introital region. Then treatment, here we have to give antifungal drugs like clotrimazole or itraconazole or ketoconazole. So clotrimazole or also timidazole also we can use for orally and also as a vaginal pessary we can use these drugs. And next, other kind of vaginitis, that is atrophic vaginitis, or also it is said to be senile vaginitis, because here this atrophic kind of vaginitis is seen in post-menopausal women due to estrogen deficiency. Sorry for interruption. And the next condition is, after Acharana Yoni Vyapat, we will discuss about Aticharana Yoni Vyapat. This Aticharana Yoni Vyapat also Charaka has explained under Vataja Yoni Vyapat and Sushruta explained under Kafaja Yoni Vyapat. Charaka states that Pavano Ati Vyavayena Shofa Sukti Rujaha Striyaha. That means this main causative factor behind Aticharana Yoni Vyapat is Pavano Ati Vyavayena, that is a woman indulging in excessive sexual intercourse. And it leads to, or it maybe shows the following symptoms like Shofa, that is inflammation, Sukti, that is numbness in the vaginal region, and also Ruja, that is pain in the vaginal region. So due to indulging in excessive sexual intercourse, she may be suffers from, or it leads to following symptoms like pain, inflammation and numbness in the vaginal region. And then Sushruta further explains that Bijam na vindati, that is whenever a lady is suffering from Aticharana Yoni Vyapat, she does not conceive, that is conception is not possible in such kind of woman. So conception is not possible, Bijam na vindati means conception here not possible, that means fertility, fertility is not possible in such cases, that is Bahushascha Aticharanadanya Bijam na vindati. That means whenever a lady suffer from this condition, it leads to conception failure or failure in the conception rate. Then treatment of Aticharana Yoni Vapat, as it is also here and also it shows some kaphaja symptoms, that is Kandu and Srava and Paichilyata in the Yoni region. So here we can also give some Vata and Kaphaja Hara Dravyas like Stehana and Svedana, and also Anuvasana Basti with Shatapaka Taila. It is specially mentioned under Prakcharana and Aticharana Yoni Vyapat, that is Shatapaka Taila, Anuvasana Basti with Shatapaka Taila. And also here we can prescribe some Svedana with Vatahara Dravyas, that is preferably Upanaha Sveda with Vatahara Dravyas, like we can use Dashamulas or Rasna or Eranda or anything for Svedana purpose. So considering or if we look into this causes behind this condition, we can generally correlate it into female sexual dysfunction. So here the main cause is desiring towards or more indulging in sexual intercourse. So because of that she is suffering from all these symptoms, so it can be correlated with some kind of female sexual dysfunction like nymphomania, etc. Next we'll move on to Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat. Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat, it is a clinical entity, it is a clinical condition mainly characterized by pain in the pelvis, groin and thigh regions. So Charaka explained Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat under Vataja Yoni Vyapat. So whoever writing this entrance test, please note on this point. Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat, it is only explained by Charaka. So none other acharyas like Sushrita or Bhagavata has not mentioned about Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat. Only Charaka has explained about the Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat. So if we understand this word meaning of Prakcharana, it is a combination of two words. One is Prak and Charana. Here Charana generally means activities. So in this situation we can consider it as a sexual activity, and Prak means before the time period or before the actual time. So Prakcharana in this condition, what Charaka explains means Maitunad Atipalaya Prishtakati Uru Vangshanam. Maitunad Atipalaya, that means whenever a lady indulging in intercourse before the time of actual period. So the normal age for indulging in conception or indulging in sexual intercourse is, for female it is 16 years and for male it is 25 years. So whenever a lady indulging in intercourse, even it is intentionally or it by force, then it leads to Prishtakati Uru Vangshanam, that is pain in Prishta Pradesha and Kati Pradesha and Vangshana Pradesha. So Maituna Atibalaya, here Atibalaya refers to Atibalaya Asampurna Shodasha Varshaya. So on in commentary Chakrapani explains that Atibalaya Asampurna Shodasha Varshaya, that means a girl who is not attained the age of 16. So in that situation, if she indulging in sexual intercourse by intentionally or by forcefully, then it leads to pain in the Prushta, Kati and Vangshana Pradesha, that is in pelvic, groin region and also in back region. And it also leads to Visheshan of Vata dosha. So here the main dosha involved is Vata, and main dushyas are Mamsa and Asti Pradesha. So here the dushyas are Mamsa and Asti, because the main symptoms here is pain in the Prushta Pradesha and Kati Pradesha. So dushya involved here is Asti and Mamsa, and Sthana Samshaya is Prushta and Kati region. So here, as I said, the basics or main symptom is pain in the back region. It is, if we generally see it, it looks like a general condition, but the cause behind is gynecological in origin. And we can treat Prakcharana Yoni Vapadas with Anuvasana Basti and Uttara Basti with Shatapaka Taila. So as I said, in Aticharana, both Aticharana and Prakcharana Yoni Vapad, mainly Anuvasana Basti with Shatapaka Taila, and also we can give some Svedana with Vatahara Dravya. Mainly here Upanaha Svedana is preferable, and also as it is a localized pain will be there on Prishta and Kati Pradesha, so we have to give Utkarika or made up of some drugs like Yava and Kinva, and also with the help of local application of Yava, Goduma and Shatapushpa and some other drugs. So Utkarika, that is local application of Utkarika, that is on the Prushta or Kati Pradesha, wherever pain will be present, there we have to give local application of paste made up of Yava, Goduma and Sarshapa and Shatapushpa. So these are all some common treatments which is indicated in Prakcharana Yoni Vapat. So looking to this condition, we can correlate this with chronic pelvic pain. So clinically, तभी patient back pain या lower abdomen pain या groin pain in groin region करके आते हैं. First we have to rule out any other, because is this because of any either general condition, or sometimes it is maybe because of some gynecological condition also. So chronic pelvic is maybe of somatic origin and also visceral in origin. The definition of chronic pelvic pain, which is explained in the gynecological text, is a pain which is present or which is occur due with more than 6 months of duration, for 6 months or more than 6 months of duration, and localize it, and this pain is localized to pelvic region, lower abdominal region and thigh regions. So this is the definition of chronic pelvic pain. And here the cause behind this chronic pelvic pain is mainly PID, that is pelvic inflammatory diseases. Pelvic inflammatory disease means any infection and inflammation of the pelvic region like vaginitis, chronic cervicitis or endometritis, or also sometimes salpingitis and oophorytis also. So maybe because of this condition, the lady will suffer from chronic back pain, that is since from at least the history will be from a chronic history, that is from 6 months or more also sometimes. So PID is one among the cause, and also it may be due to endometriosis. So endometriosis is a presence of functioning endometrium other than the uterine mucosa, and also because of adenomyosis. So adenomyosis means presence of functioning endometrium in the myometrial region. So this is adenomyosis. And maybe it is also due to genital prolapse, that is genital prolapse means descent of uterus from its normal position. So, and also in the condition of retroverted uterus. So normally the normal position of uterus is anteverted, that is forward bending of the uterus on the bladder. So this is the anteverted position of the uterus, and retroverted means backward bending of the uterus towards the rectum region. So in this condition, in both in uterine prolapse and retroverted uterus condition, so whatever the attachments to the uterus will be there, like because of ligament stretching of the ligaments, there will be a more pain in the back region and also in the groin and lower abdominal region. And also other causes behind this chronic pelvic pain is tubomastosis, that is tubo-ovarian masses, and also because of uterine fibroids. So these are all some basic causes or common causes under chronic pelvic pain. And here how can we treat all this condition means sometimes it is medically it can be treated, or in sometimes it can be treated surgically only. So what so जो भी बैक एक करके अगर पेशेंट्स आया तो सो बिकॉज देर आर सो मेनी रीजन्स behind this backache, lower backache, and also upper backache and also lower abdomen pain. So these are all the some basic causes for or common causes behind Prakcharana Yoni Vyapat. Next we'll move on to another condition, Putragni Yoni Vyapat. Putragni Yoni Vyapat. Both Acharya Charaka and Acharya Sushruta has explained about Putragni Yoni Vyapat. Charaka explained Putragni Yoni Vyapat under Vataja Yoni Vyapat and Sushruta explained Putragni under Pittaja Yoni Vyapat. And one more important point, Acharya Vagbhata explained Putragni Yoni Vyapat. He also explained Nidana Samprapti and Lakshana and also Chikitsa of Putragni Yoni Vyapat, but he has given the name of Jatagni. Here Putragni and Jatagni are the same condition, but Vagbhata has used the terminology or term as Jatagni. So Putragni Yoni Vyapat means, Sushruta explains, Stitam Stitam Hanti Garbhat Putragnim Rakta Samsravat. Stitam Stitam Hanti Garbhat. That means it is a clinical condition where repeated loss of pregnancy will occur. That means Stitam Stitam Hanti. That means whenever a lady get conceived but there will be a loss of pregnancy or loss of conception due to spontaneous abortion, and also it leads to Rakta Samsravana, that is vaginal bleeding. So हर एक बार जो भी लेडी प्रेग्नेंट होती है और उसके बाद वो प्रेगनेंसी नहीं टिकता है या 1.5 मंथ या 2 मंथ या 2.5 मंथ के बाद वो गर्भस्रावा हो जाता है. दैट मीन्स द प्रेगनेंसी लॉस विल बी टेक्स प्लेस. सो दैट्स व्हाट ही एक्सप्लेन अंडर इन दिस श्लोका. स्थितम स्थितम हंति गर्भात पुत्रग्निम रक्त संस्रवात. एंड द मेन लक्षण हियर इज रक्त संस्रवण, दैट इज vaginal bleeding. And moving further, Charaka clarifies this as Raukshat Vayur Yada Garba Jatam Jatam Vinashayat Dushta Shonitajam Narya Putragnim Namasa Mata. That is, he has detailedly explained about both Nidana, Samprapti and Lakshana of Putragni Yoni Vyapat. He explains Raukshat Vayur Yada Garba. That is, here Raukshata. Raukshata means Ruksha Gunotkarsha Vataditi. That means whenever a lady indulging in Ruksha Gunotkarsha Ahara, that is Ruksha Ahara Vihara, and it leads to aggravation of Vata dosha. So here Ruksha Gunotkarsha, that means the food or activities which leads to increase in the Ruksha Guna, mainly Ruksha Guna, which if she indulging in Ruksha Guna like excessive consumption of caffeine, alcohol or smoking, and also doing upavasa in preconceptional period, and also indulging or when she practices Ratri Jagarana, or she is suffering from any manasika bhavas like krodha, shoka or trasa, that is stress. So all these factors leads to increase in Ruksha Gunata, and thus it increases the it leads to aggravation of Vata dosha, and this is one of the main cause for Putragni Yoni Vyapat. And next, Dushta Shonita. Here Shonita can be taken as ovum, or ovum is generally it is a germ cell. So here the main cause behind is Dushta Shonita, that is any chromosomal or genetical abnormality. So if any genetic abnormality or chromosomal abnormality in the germ cell, that is ovum, or sometimes it is maybe in the sperm also, then it leads to Putragni Yoni Vyapat, that is repeated loss of pregnancy. And here, so basically these are the two main nidanas, and symptoms here is Rakta Samsravana, that is vaginal bleeding, and loss of pregnancy, that is repeated loss of pregnancy. And also, as it is said under Pittaja Yoni Vyapat, it shows some Pittaja Lakshanas like Daha, Kosha, and all this. So looking to this condition, we can correlate it with recurrent abortion or habitual abortion. Abortion means expulsion or extraction of the fetus from the mother womb which is weighing 500 gram or less whenever it is incapable of independent survival. So abortion का definition क्या है? Expulsion of the fetus from the mother womb. जो भी fetus or embryo mother womb से बाहर निकल जाता है when it is weighing of 500 gram. Here they are mentioning the criteria, that is 500 gram and also within 20 weeks of gestational weeks. So loss of pregnancy within 20 weeks is considered as abortion and loss of pregnancy after 28 weeks is considered as IUD. Because up to 20 weeks whatever the embryo or fetus will attains about 450 to 500 gram. So that's why they have mentioned criteria. अगर abortion जो भी तब embryo 500 ग्राम मेजर करता है या वेई करता है और उससे कम अगर वेई किया तो and whenever this condition occurs within 20 weeks of gestation, then it is said to be abortion. So there are so many types in the abortion. In that, this Putragni Yonivapad is correlated with recurrent abortion. So whenever, if it is spontaneous or abortion which occurs 3 or more times consecutively and spontaneously, then it is considered as recurrent abortion or habitual abortion. A habit बन जाता है abortion का बार बार ऐसे 3 times से अगर ज़्यादा 4 times 5 times अगर consecutively हो रहा है and also spontaneously हो रहा है, so then it is said to be a recurrent abortion or habitual abortion. So causes behind this recurrent abortion are mainly in 50% of the cases, that is majority cause behind this recurrent abortion is chromosomal abnormality or genetic abnormality like any trisomy 16 or monosomy or aneuploidy or polyploidy. So because of all this condition, because of all these defects, it may leads to or it ends up in the early abortion. That means early abortion, that is during in 6 weeks or 7 weeks of the pregnancy. And second one is some endocrinological factors and metabolic factors like poorly controlled diabetes mellitus or any other chronic disorders. The mainly diabetes mellitus. If a woman she has already suffering from diabetes, and if it is poorly controlled, and in that time whenever she conceives, so then it leads to abortion. So poorly controlled diabetes is one of the important cause under metabolic factor, and also due to thyroid abnormalities like either it is hypothyroidism or hypothyroidism. And third one is luteal phase defect. Luteal phase defect, it is one of the endocrinological factor. Luteal phase defect leads to failure in the implantation, and it is due to insufficient production or synthesis of progesterone hormone from the corpus luteum. So क्या होता है, ओवुलेशन के बाद तभी कंसेप्शन हो जाता है, उसके बाद कॉर्पस ल्यूटियम जो बनता है उससे प्रोजेस्टेरॉन हार्मोन सिक्रेट होता रहता है. So whenever the sperm meets, it leads to fertilization. That's what we called it as conception. So after this conception, so this if sometimes this corpus luteum will not functions properly, that means it will not secretes or synthesis progesterone. So because of this insufficient production of progesterone hormone, it leads to implantation failure, and that's why it leads to abortion in the early period of gestation. And next, the third point or the third cause for abortion is anatomical abnormality or congenital malformation of the uterus and the cervix. That is in cervix, that is cervical incompetence or cervical insufficiency. So in this cervical incompetence condition, तो जो भी isthmus region होता है, the isthmus it loses its tonicity and it leads to dilatation of the cervix. So usually cervical os जो रहता है uterus and cervix का part, uterus that is body fundus होता है, body होता है अंदर, and the lower part of the uterus is the cervix, and बीच का internal loss या isthmus जो part होता है, it loses its tonicity and it leads to dilatation of the cervix. So whenever dilatation will takes place, so obviously जो भी concepted products रहता है वो बाहर निकल के आ जाता है. So this is one of the cause behind abortion. In usually it will occurs in second trimester. And next other abnormalities or malformations like bicornuate uterus and septate uterus. So all these condition leads to usually second trimester abortion. And another cause is infection. So in 5% of the cases, infection is also one of the most important causes for repeated abortion. Like infections like any kind of viral infections like rubella, toxoplasmosis and herpes, and also syphilis is one of the main cause for recurrent abortion. Another cause, the next cause for abortion is because of some immunological factors and also Rh incompatibility. Rh incompatibility or blood group incompatibility in both the couples, that is husband and wife, and it leads to abortion during first trimester or also in usually it will occur in second trimester. And also some environmental factors like heavy smoking or consumption of alcohol or any kind of intoxication, it leads to abortion in early period or in late gestational period also. So these are some commonest causes for recurrent type of abortion. So how can we treat such kinds of patient, or what will be the protocol to treat these type of patients? So first and foremost, we have to take careful history about both the medical history and surgical history, that is whether the a lady or a woman is suffering from any kind of chronic disorders like hypertension or poorly controlled diabetes or any thyroid abnormalities or epilepsy like that. And also we have to take the surgical history also, whether she has underwent any kind of abdominal operations. And next, after taking history, we have to go for some laboratory investigations mainly for blood grouping and Rh type, that is to rule out any Rh incompatibility both the husband and wife. And next we have to rule out the blood sugar level by doing FBS PPVS and also by HbA1c, that is glycolated hemoglobin. And next we have to check for thyroid profile, that is both free T3, T4 and TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormones levels. And next we have to check for screening test for infections, that is for rubella and toxoplasmosis, and also for syphilis, that is by doing BDRF test. And also we have to go with USG, that is ultrasonography of abdomen and pelvis, to detect any congenital abnormalities in the uterus, like as I said, bicornuate uterus or septate uterus. And also we have to go with HSG. HSG means histosalpingography. This is done to detect cervical incompetency. So to detect any kind of cervical incompetency, we have to go with HSG, that is histosalpingography. And also further, in if at all if the lady is suffering from, that is more than 3 times if it has occurred, then also we can go for karyotyping, that is to detect any kind of chromosomal abnormality. And also vaginal swab test to detect any kind of vaginal infection, that is chlamydial infection, because chlamydial infection, chlamydial trachomatis, is also one of the major cause for repeated abortion. So once if we rule out all this by doing examination and also by doing laboratory investigation, then we have to treat the patient according to the cause. That means if she is suffering from diabetes or thyroid abnormalities, then we have to start with thyroxine tablets, or we have to start with oral hypoglycemic drugs. And then if she is suffering from any kind of infection, then we have to start with antiviral or antibacterial and any kind of other treating drugs. And if she is suffering from bicornuate uterus, then we have to do or go with metroplasty operations. And if she is suffering from septum in the uterus, अगर एक uterus के बीच में अगर septum रह गया तो then we have to resect that septum by doing surgical measure. And along with that, if she is suffering from or if repeated loss of pregnancy or abortion is occurring, if we find out if this is because of luteal phase defect, that is due to insufficient production of progesterone, then after ovulation, that means in suspected pregnancy, so after ovulation we have to start with micronized progesterone, that is natural progesterone, from the day of 15th day and until 3 months, that is until 12 weeks of the gestational period, that is 12 weeks up to pregnancy, we have to continue with natural progesterones. That is for as we are giving progesterone exogenously, that is from the outside. So how like this, how can we rule out the repeated abortion or recurrent abortion cases, and we can treat this. So, and according to Ayurveda, the treatment behind Putragni Yoni Vyapad is to give gruta, which is prepared out of Kashmari and Kutaja, that is Kutaja Siddha Gruta and Kashmari Adi Siddha Gruta, for both oral and also for as a Uttarabasti Prayoga. That means we are doing this Uttarabasti Prayoga pre-conceptional, that is before conception. So if she is a case of a bad obstetric history, that means usually this cases we will taken or consider under BOH, that is bad obstetric history. So in that condition we can prescribe Gruta prepared out of Kashmiri and Kutaja, and both orally and Uttarabasti, and also we can give Gruta prepared out of Aja, Avi and Mahisha Rakta, and also clinically for up to 3 months or 6 months we can generally prescribe Falagruta. Yes, it is one of most wonderful drug, that is Falagruta. Usually we will prescribe up to 3 to 6 months for a lady who is suffering from a repeated or recurrent type of abortion. So this will be helpful in Garbhaprada also, and it will help to reduce this symptom, that is due to reduce in the loss of pregnancy rate. So by all this, I conclude this session. I am very glad as being a part of Tadvidya Sambhasha Facebook page. I would like to thank all of the organizers to give to this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.